This is a Chevy Malibu stereo removal. First, let's start with this top panel above the display here. Now, as you can tell, I'm pulling from the sides and I'm using a non-marring plastic panel removal tool. This basically doesn't allow the dash to get scratched if you happen to run across it. But you see what I'm doing here? I'm pulling on the sides. Don't do that. As you can tell, I kind of like warped the piece a little bit, so I had to buy a new one. There's two clips in the center. That's where you're going to want to pry from. So don't pry from the sides, pry from the center. Okay, so the next part here, oh, see here it is again. Once I put this piece back in, it looks kind of warped, so I had to buy a new one. So you guys, I mess up so you guys don't have to. But there's the two clips right there that you want to pry from. So these two bolts here are 7mm. Go ahead and remove both these bolts. With removing these two bolts and the next two bolts below the stereo, it's best to use a nut driver that's magnetic, or if you have a magnetic pickup tool. It's not too bad right here, but once you go below the dash, you're going to want to have a magnetic pickup tool because you're going to lose a bolt. So next, use your hands or a pry tool and pry this whole piece off from the front. You'll notice there's a connector to the left of here where the push start is. Make sure not to pull off that or put too much tension on it. But just make your way across, and if you hit a rough spot, make sure to use your non-marring plastic panel removal tool to pull the rest of it off. I'll have a link in the description below to purchase one of those. So this connector where the push button is, that little red tab, use a small flat blade screwdriver and push up on it and then push down and back to release it from the plug. Next, remove the AC controls, and there's a Molex plug here. Basically just press this tab in and pull backwards and it'll come out. Now these two bolts are the ones you're going to want to use a magnetic pickup tool or a nut driver with a magnetic side on it, because if not, you're going to lose a screw, which I did, and that's why I'm telling you. So after this first one, I went back and got my magnetic pickup tool to get it out. Now, if you push from the back with your finger, you'll be able to easier push this display out. And you'll have two plugs on the back. It's the same thing again with that little red connector. You want to push down on it with a small flat blade screwdriver, like a mini one, and then push up, and then you can press down and out to pull it back out. See right here, this little red piece, you got to put a flat blade in there, push it up, and then push down and back to release it. And this black plug next to it, you want to push this little white connector back. So let's push it back and then press down on that connector and pull backwards to pull the connector out. So that's the control module for the stereo itself. That what we just removed was the display screen. So if you need to interface into the vehicle stereo at all, that would be where you would tie into it at. And Metra has different harnesses in order to connect a new stereo into it. If you like the video, make sure to like it and subscribe. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I or maybe someone else can help answer your questions for you. Thank you so much.